You, the chosen ones, are missed by others in ways that are almost crippling. But you do not miss them. Why? Because once they treated you with disregard, perhaps even with contempt. But now you are beyond them. You've risen, elevated your capacity, and surpassed their limits. To help you unlock the full extent of your capacity, I'm offering you an opportunity. Start by commenting 77 below. Your light will serve as a guide for all who seek their way. Without someone who brings meaning to their lives, people feel the void of your absence deeply. Have you ever noticed how, the moment you leave, it feels like the people around you suddenly lose their footing, as if they've had the air knocked out of them? Here's a truth worth reflecting on. Studies show that losing someone valuable activates the same parts of the brain as physical pain. This isn't just a loss, it's a harsh reality faced by those who underestimated you, who lived unaware of how profoundly your absence would affect them. And the most interesting part, while they're busy nursing their emotional wounds, losing themselves in old memories, and perhaps scrolling through your social media posts, you're moving forward in silence, growing in your own lane, undisturbed and maybe hardly even remembering their absence. Fascinating, isn't it? While they grapple with the impact of your absence, you remain unaware of just how dependent they had become. The truth is, the moment they realize you are irreplaceable is a turning point, not just for them, but for everyone who encounters you. As you continue to exist, people around you fail to fully grasp what they have in your presence. Your energy, kindness, and authenticity are taken for granted, as though your unwavering support and inspiration are eternal resources. They assumed the jewel you are would always shine, ever available to them. But it's only after you leave that they see the shadows left in your wake. You were never just another face in the crowd. You brought something to the table no one else could. Whether it was your wisdom, your unshakable loyalty, or the calm you brought to chaos, your presence made everything around you better, richer, and more meaningful. But most people don't know how to appreciate such value, so they treated your uniqueness as though it were commonplace. Now that you've left, the void you leave behind reverberates through their lives. Those small, daily acts of kindness, listening without judgment, offering support with no strings attached, have disappeared. They feel the absence of what you used to fill so effortlessly. The irony is this: they probably thought having you in their lives was good for you, when, in reality, it was good for them. They didn't realize you were the one carrying the weight, making the meaningful contributions, and holding things together. Now, the pain is unavoidable. Losing you isn't just losing a person, it's losing the one real thing they had. Even if they never fully understood who you were, they miss you deeply because they've never met anyone like you before. And they know, deep down, they likely never will again. The absence of your presence has left a profound and lasting impact on their world. It was not a mere shift, but a seismic change. Your presence was never invisible. It was a weighty force. While you filled their voids with energy, depth, and meaning, you also shared emotions they often struggled to put into words. But now, with you gone, there is nothing left but the emptiness they ignored for so long. This has forced them to face an almost tragically ironic reality. Your absence has compelled them to confront the void within themselves. While you were with them, you unknowingly became a stabilizing force they never acknowledged. Your strength, wisdom, and emotional openness covered their inner emptiness with warmth and protection, even as you quietly grew and charted your own path. This trait, unique to the chosen, ensures that your energy was never truly lost, even in places where it was undervalued. And now, with you gone, escaping that emptiness is impossible. Left alone with themselves, they find this state deeply unsettling. Your absence has brought to the surface all the cracks they tried to hide. Their insecurities, regrets, and unresolved pain, all buried before, are now exposed. When you were present, your energy gave them stability and a sense of safety. But now, that balance is lost. They realize that nothing can take your place, not because you merely filled a void, but because your energy transformed it. Your absence has made their world darker, shallower, and less vibrant, and they miss you because of the stark contrast it has created. Losing you forced them to confront the truth they had avoided, and for that, they now feel a profound longing. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. By clicking the Super Thanks button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more, you can help spread God's blessings far and wide. This divine gift will not only touch your life, but also reach the souls of many through this platform. Each of you holds a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Take action now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom, for you were created in the loving hands of God to do even greater works. May God bless you. No one truly understands what it means to leave a real, lasting impact. As long as you were present, the contributions you made to their lives went unnoticed. Perhaps you guided their paths in ways they didn't even realize. While by their side, you brought hope, offered support during their struggles, and simplified their complex situations. Yet over time, they began to take these roles for granted. Now that you've left, they feel the absence of everything you once provided so deeply. The truth is, your presence revealed how much easier their lives had become because of you. You were their source of strength, inspiration, and emotional refuge. Now they're trying to fill the space you left behind, but it's impossible. The impact of someone as rare as you leaves a gaping void in their world. Losing someone who was genuinely there for them reveals a hollow space they feel deep within. The peace, security, and understanding you offered are now missing, and they are forced to confront that reality. You made them feel valued and understood, not because they deserved it, but because your heart was pure and you gave naturally. Now your absence requires them to face their inner struggles. While you were with them, they ignored their truths. Now, faced with themselves as they are, they miss the balance and support you brought. Your absence prevents them from reconciling with themselves, which is why the void left by you echoes louder than your presence ever could. Some people don't miss you. They miss the power they thought they had over you. What they truly valued wasn't your kindness or empathy. It was how your willingness to forgive and understand gave them a sense of control. They mistook your compassion for weakness, believing that no matter what they did, you would always be there, ready to pick up the broken pieces and fix their mistakes. Your empathy made them feel powerful, even superior. They grew comfortable leaning on your patience, using it to justify their actions and avoid accountability. Each time you forgave, each time you chose understanding over anger, they felt a false sense of dominance. They convinced themselves that you needed them more than they needed you. But then you walked away, and in that moment, you shattered the illusion they had built. They were unprepared for the truth, that your empathy was not a weakness, but a strength. You stayed not because you needed them, but because you chose to extend grace. Now that choice is gone, and they crave the power they once thought they had, the influence they believed they wielded over you. Without you, They're left with a void where they once felt control, and it forces them to confront a harsh reality. It wasn't their strength that kept you in their lives. It was your willingness to stay. Now they miss the dynamic they took for granted, the security of knowing you would always be there to pick up the pieces. Most of all, they miss the ability to take without giving, the power to drain your energy without reciprocation. And that loss runs deeper than they'll ever admit, because they know they will never find anyone like you again. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It is then good for nothing but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men. Matthew 5:13. Some people are not merely present in the world, they are sent to transform it. They come like fresh water in a desert, quenching the thirst of weary souls, leaving those who encounter them forever changed. Their presence isn't just a moment or a touch, it is a force imbued with divine light, awakening deep meaning and purpose. These individuals are chosen, entrusted with a sacred mission to uncover potential in others and illuminate the darkness within. These rare souls make life feel brighter and more profound simply by being near. When they speak, their words are not merely heard, they resonate in the deepest parts of your being. Their presence feels like the calm after a storm, bringing peace and clarity. Being with them is like looking into a mirror that reflects who you are and who you could become. Yet the value of such a gift is often overlooked. People assume such individuals will always be there, but when they leave, their absence is unmistakable. It's not just the loss of a person, it's the loss of a light, a guiding force that made everything feel meaningful and whole. They are not easily replaced because what they bring to the table is not just unique, it is divine. One day when that person leaves your life, the world somehow feels duller, quieter, and more ordinary. The absence is not merely a physical loss, it is the void left by a divine force that once lifted your spirit and guided your path. No matter how hard you try to fill that emptiness with other things, nothing can replace the lasting impact that person left behind. Their energy was not just a companion, but a sanctuary. Not just support, but a cornerstone that reshaped the meaning of your existence. When they are no longer in your life, finding the depth they brought elsewhere becomes impossible. Their influence was as unmistakable as the warmth of the sun breaking through after a clouded sky. Now that the light is gone, everything feels darker and colder. This is not just an absence, but a loss of direction. Without the peace and inspiration they brought, everything seems somehow less meaningful. Dear brothers and sisters, may the peace of God be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is anchored not in the fleeting worries of this world, but in the divine plan of God. As the Bible says, a man reaps what he sows. Galatians 6:7. Like the mighty oak tree, our roots are deeply planted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stance we hold, is secured by His power. And now you have the opportunity to be part of this blessing. By clicking the Super Thanks button and contributing $100, this act will return to you 100-fold in abundance. These individuals are not just people. They are souls sent into the world with a sacred purpose. When God sends them into your life, He is offering you an opportunity. And recognizing that opportunity is not always easy. Their presence reminds you to seek more in life, to answer a higher calling that burns within your heart. When that person is no longer there, what remains is not merely emptiness. It is the memory of the love, trust, and meaning they brought into your life. It is the weight of knowing that divine touch was once there, and now it is gone. What they left in your soul is not an echo that fades, but a deep imprint. That imprint reminds you of who you are and who you are meant to be. They were not just someone who walked alongside you. They were a chosen companion, sent to take another step with you in God's sacred plan. Now that they are no longer there, it's not just the absence of a person, but the loss of that divine connection they brought to your life. Yet even in this loss, there is a reminder. They were not sent merely to exist, but to help you grow and understand the path God has laid out for you. Remember, some people don't just touch your life. They come like a ladder to the heavens, lifting you to greater heights. They may have stayed in your life for only a short while, but the mark they left on your soul endures forever. Recognizing the value of this divine gift creates a melody of gratitude in the deepest parts of your spirit. The light they brought into your life never dims. It continues to shine from within you. When they are remembered, it is not with a sense of lack, but with a recognition of how much richer life was because of them. This feeling is not fleeting, and realizing that nothing else can replace it leads to a profound inner reckoning. They were not just a connection, but a cornerstone of their lives. Now it becomes clear that no superficial effort can fill that void. They lost someone who touched their quietest desires, offering a depth they never even knew existed. What is missing now is not just a person, but a unique influence that can never be replaced. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16. There are people who, when they enter your life, change not only the view around you, but the depths of your soul. They are like a light, illuminating the dark corners of your life when you encounter them. Every moment spent with them transcends the ordinary. A conversation, a friendship, or a partnership becomes a spiritual journey. These people are not ordinary. They are gifts sent by God. Through their presence, they don't just accompany you, they remind you of who you are and who you are meant to be. When they are by your side, even the most ordinary days take on a special meaning. A friendship with them feels like a balm to your soul, bringing profound peace and serenity. Their words are not just words. Each sentence reaches the depths of your heart, convincing you that you can become more than you are. Their presence is like the morning sunlight that softens your inner darkness. What they bring to your life is not just support, but guidance. They are a bridge, a guide, and a compass to help you reach your goals. But now, when those people are no longer in your life, you feel that something is missing. This void is not merely due to their physical absence, but stems from the irreplaceable warmth and light they brought to your soul. What once filled your life with vitality has now become a profound silence. What they gave you was not just conversations, friendships, or beautiful memories. It was a wind that lifted your spirit to greater heights. When they leave, that wind gives way to a still and quiet calm. And you realize that the vibrancy you felt in their presence was not solely due to their energy, but also the way they brought out the hidden potential within you. These people are not just friends, they are architects of the soul. They are guides sent by God to help you see the path He has laid out for you, encouraging and inspiring you along the way. Now, in their absence, life feels quieter, more subdued. Their absence serves as a reminder of the divine marks they left behind. Once these marks are recognized, you can no longer see your life through ordinary eyes. Their presence wasn't just a memory, but a transformation. And you know that this transformation was something far greater than any human could provide. It was a gift from God. These people are not simply individuals whose paths crossed with yours for a time. They are essential parts of your destiny. They don't just remind you of what to do, but of who you are meant to be. This reminder becomes a torch you carry throughout your life. Their absence doesn't just make you appreciate the light they brought, but also burdens you with the responsibility of finding your own light. Because what they did for you was to show you the greatness within yourself. You miss them, but this longing isn't sadness, it is gratitude. You are thankful that they entered your life, because they were not just a friend or a guide. They were an extension of God's hand, reaching out to you. And while the warmth of that hand may now be gone, the impact they left never fades. That impact continues to live within you as a force propelling you forward. Their presence didn't just remind you of who you were, it showed you who you could become. This is the true gift of people who leave such marks on your life. They open a path for you, encourage you to walk it, and then part ways. But you know that this parting is only physical. The sacred imprint they leave in your soul will always lift you higher. This is evidence of God's love for you. For such people are no mere coincidence. They are the special gifts God has chosen for your life. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1:5. Some people come into your life and instantly change everything. Their presence is like lighting a candle in a dark room, suddenly making everything visible and meaningful. When they are by your side, life feels brighter, more hopeful. Their presence is not merely companionship, it is guidance. But now, when that light is gone, the void is immediately felt. It's as if the fire that once burned with your inner passions is now covered in ashes. What they gave you wasn't just new goals or ideas. They reminded you of who you were and who you could become. With them, you had the courage to explore the greater, deeper meanings of life. Their conversations were not just words. They were like melodies that touched your soul. They were like a mirror, reflecting your inner strength back to you. But now that they have left your life, it feels as though that mirror has shattered. Without their light, everything feels a bit colder and dimmer. These people were not merely companions. They were chosen gifts sent to you by God. They were souls entrusted with the mission to lift you from where you were and take you to a higher level. Yet, the value of such gifts is often only realized in their absence. When their light fades, all that remains are the memories of the awareness they brought into your life. Now you may feel that something is missing from your life, but this void is not a punishment, it's a lesson. The time you spent with them was God's way of showing you who you could become. They didn't just bring light into your life, they showed you that the light was within you all along. And now, in their absence, it is time to discover that light within yourself. These people didn't merely inspire you, they moved you into action. With them, thinking bigger, setting higher goals, and breaking past your own limits felt natural. But now, where they once stood, there is a silence. And in that silence, you begin to learn a truth you hadn't realized before. The energy they brought into your life wasn't just something they gave to you, it was something they helped you uncover within yourself. Now, as you look back, you can see how their presence gave you courage, vision, and hope. But that was only the beginning. Their entry into your life was a step on the path God has laid out for you. Now their absence serves as a call to begin your own journey, because that light wasn't just in them, it was always within you too. These people didn't bring just temporary peace. they brought lasting change. While their absence leaves a void, it also leaves you with the responsibility to fill it. They were your guide, but now it's time to walk forward with your own light. For God did not create you to rely solely on others. He created you to shine your light for yourself. Their impact was not fleeting, it was transformative. They were not just someone who crossed paths with you temporarily, they were integral to your growth and purpose. Their influence lingers as a constant reminder of the light within you, urging you to embrace your own power. Their absence is not the end of the story, it is the beginning of your next chapter. When those people are no longer in your life, everything may feel a little more still, a little quieter. But that silence is not an end, it's a beginning, because the light they showed you was entrusted to you like a torch. Now it's time to take that torch and move forward on your journey. And this journey is not just an opportunity to carry forward what they brought into your life, but also a chance to fulfill what God has planned for you. Remember, they didn't come into your life just to accompany you. They entered it to prepare you for a higher purpose. And now that preparation is complete, and a new phase of your journey begins. The void they left behind is not merely a loss, it's a calling. Embrace the new opportunity God has placed before you, and begin to illuminate the world with your own light. In their absence, people find themselves stuck in a mundane routine. They face the unsettling truth that the spark which once moved them forward was not their own, but tied to this person. The emptiness they try to fill is too deep for anything else to truly satisfy. What's missing is not just a person, but the excitement and meaning their presence brought. What remains is a world weighed down by monotony, where the lack of their influence casts everything in shades of gray. Now is the perfect time to share God's blessings by clicking the Super Thanks button on YouTube. With a contribution of $100 or more, you can become part of this divine mission and support His plan. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you multiplied far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessings are with you in every step and every offering. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, steadfast like His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and light up the world with this confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the Lord's light guide your path. Often, people who come into your life assume that when they leave, you will feel a void, a sense of loss, or hold on to their memory with longing. But that assumption is their illusion. Your strength does not come from clinging to the past or carrying the burdens of those who weigh you down. It comes from the courage to set yourself free when necessary. Your decisions are not rooted in emotional coldness, but in sharp clarity. When people prove they are unworthy of your value, you do not waste time romanticizing them. Instead, you part ways for the sake of your inner peace and uphold your boundaries. This act of liberation carries a message far more powerful than they could have imagined. In the silence of your departure, they are forced to confront their own fragility. This situation leaves those who remain both in awe and discomfort. Your departure disrupts the order they had grown accustomed to. Nothing can replace the balance and meaning your presence provided. As you move forward, they begin to feel the weight of your absence and attempt to fill that void with superficial connections. But the most challenging realization for them is seeing their own stagnation in contrast to your growth. Your journey is not merely a physical separation, it's proof that your energy no longer shares the same path as theirs. Those who lack the courage to push beyond their boundaries struggle to comprehend your transformation. As you break free from the limiting ties of the past, their comfort zones crumble in the face of your evolution. You reject the constraints they imposed on you and embrace your potential. This evolution is not just a choice, it is a necessity for your soul. They may miss you, but what they truly long for is the version of you that stayed within their reach. For you, however, stagnation is not an option. Your journey constantly propels you forward, requiring you to leave behind the chains of the past. And this journey stands as the strongest testament to your freedom and your unwavering commitment to yourself. The way you express your emotions goes beyond words, carrying a profound and meaningful message. You steer clear of verbal explanations or dramatic reactions. Your silence speaks with a clarity that no argument could match. It conveys the unspoken, reflecting a truth that words fail to capture. While most people expect answers filled with explanations or seek responses that provide meaning, you have already chosen your path. Your silence disrupts the chaotic cycles they are accustomed to, and it is precisely this disruption that makes it unsettling. Once you've made your decision, there is no need for resolution or closure. You've already forged your own way. While others search for meaning in past events, you have already left that story behind. Your silence doesn't hold confrontation. It reflects the calm of a soul that has chosen to move forward. Often, people misunderstand this stance and futilely try to reconnect with you. Yet the truth is that your refusal to let your energy be drained is your strongest position. While they continue to drown in the shadow of their shortcomings, you draw boundaries with your silence. These boundaries are not about distance, but reflect the inner peace you've cultivated. Every attempt they make to understand you stirs restlessness within them. They try to make sense of why you offer no explanation, no reaction, no return. Your calmness creates turmoil within them, but the reality is simple. Your decisions are rooted in your internal balance, a balance you refuse to surrender to external influences. Your silence is not the conflict they expect. It's a sign that you are moving forward on your own path. While they try to fill the silence, you have already stepped into the beginning of another story. You feel no need to return, explain, or seek resolution, because you know that some things will never change, no matter how much effort is applied. You understand the value of channeling your energy wisely and simply choose to move forward. While they remain stuck in the past, every step you take reflects your inner freedom. Your silence is not just a closure, it is also the strongest reflection of your self-respect and recognition of your worth. Some people enter your life not just to leave a mark, but to transform the entire landscape. They are miracles that rise above the ordinary, and every moment with them carries a special significance. In a world filled with chaos and superficiality, they are rare beacons of sincerity, depth, and authenticity. Their presence is not just companionship, it is a revolution. They inspire those around them to strive for better and uncover the hidden potential within themselves. Yet such people are not always understood. Their value is often recognized only in their absence. The person who accompanies them is easily taken for granted, much like receiving a gift without fully understanding its true worth. They fall into the illusion that the time spent together, the bonds formed, the patience and understanding offered will last forever. But then, when that light goes out, all that remains is silence and regret. This is not merely the absence of a person, it is the reality of a world that has lost its center. That person was uniquely irreplaceable, someone who will not be encountered again. no space can be filled in the place they once occupied, and the value they brought leaves a profound and irreversible mark. The weight of this loss cannot be compensated by forming new connections or seeking other experiences. As they come to understand the impossibility of regaining the uniqueness they failed to see, they are gradually condemned to live in the shadow of their own mistakes. And this is not simply a longing for an individual, it is the absence of meaning, inspiration, and inner growth. Some try to forget them, while others remain trapped in a cycle of rewriting the past. Yet accepting that this person will not return becomes the hardest lesson, because that rare soul not only illuminated the space they occupied, but also shaped everything they touched. This is not the closing of a chapter, but the end of an era. And coming to terms with this truth occurs only in the deep silence of time.